Hi guys, I hope everybody's having a great day. So this is kind of a different video today. I often get, excuse me if I can talk today, I often get asked throughout my almost year being on YouTube about why isn't my family in any of my videos, and I was just going to kind of do a my childhood to now and just things in between so everybody could understand. For one, very little of my family is actually supportive of my YouTube channel. My son greatly is, and my mom is, but basically a lot of the rest of them are like, this is a weird idea. Why are you putting your life on the internet? This is very odd. Why would you do this for like thousands and millions of people to possibly see? Like, they're just not that kind of people. So I was just going to start from, the video is called How My Kids Changed My Life, and I've talked about family issues here and there, so I basically wanted to do a video without any of the kids around because they know the craziness of my family, but I'm that type of person that doesn't like drama, that just likes happiness and just likes everybody to be together and always, just love one another kind of thing. So I grew up with, sorry my cat, sorry to be interrupted, my crazy cat had to go outside. So I grew up and I am the middle child. I have an older sister who's 3 years older than me, and then I have a younger sister who's almost 4 years younger than me. And I grew up and my dad is, I wouldn't say greatly emotionally connected to me. My dad's theory in life is you basically work 12 hours a day and there's no time for family. There's no time for the bonding emotional experience. He just makes tons of money and he's basically married to his job. And, he's given me great work ethic through that direction, and I will never downgrade him in any means. But growing up as a kid, he was just never around. We had great, beautiful, wonderful, nice things, but he was the type of guy that when he did come home at the end of the day, that his father was a heavy alcoholic, and it's definitely within my bloodlines, and I will never do that to my kids. But basically my dad, by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, has to have drinks and has to get drunk, and that's been the way it is since I've been a little kid. So he was never emotionally connected to us, and still isn't. He doesn't tell me he loves me. He doesn't tell me I'm doing great things. He doesn't give me positive reinforcement with the situation with Sasha. It's never been there. My mom is that person, and growing up I was always closer to my dad, but nowadays I would say that I can talk to my mom about anything and we can emotionally connect. Like, we're not that hug type of family kiss, and that was one of the other things that I said when I became a parent, that I would always be emotionally connected. So I grew up with 2 sisters in a pretty normal home, and my dad was emotionally abusive towards my mother. He was physically sometimes when he was especially drinking, and I can remember a lot of fighting growing up as a child. So when I was about, I would say 12 or 13, my dad was always, at least on Sundays, one of us would fight to go to job sites and customers' houses, and usually we could go on in and it'd be our bonding experience. We'd ride in the truck with him and get to go to a meeting with a customer, and that was our bonding time spent with my father. So I remember, like I said, I think I was around 12 or 13, that I went over to this woman's house. And this was one job that my dad told me, no, I'll be really quickly. Multiple times he took me here, and you have to sit in the truck. And as a 12 and 13-year-old, you really don't piece that together just saying, okay. He was gone for quite a long time, and I hadn't figured it out. This lady was married. My parents were still unhappily married, but they were married. So I was trying to figure it all out. And basically, as I got older, I did figure it out, and my dad was leaving me in the truck to go have relations with this woman that he was supposed to be working on our house with, and they were having an affair. And this is the woman that my dad is currently married to, and they both got divorced from my mom, and she got divorced from her husband and moved in soon afterwards and got married. And that is probably the reason why I don't have a great connection to my dad anymore. This woman is a horrible woman. She never had kids. She's told me that kids ruin your body and that they're just stressful, and she doesn't know why people have them. She's mentally unstable. She's told me numerous times, and the last straw was last year, and this is why I don't even go to family functions at my dad's house or even swimming in his absolutely gorgeous pool, because I will not put myself mentally in the situation anymore. Last year, she decided to tell me to my face that I caused all of Sasha's medical problems, and that I am a slut, and that Sasha's retarded. And my dad basically never ever defends me against her, and he said, you know she's sick, just leave it alone. So I did, but that's still etched in my mind because I hate the R word against people. And you know, so when my parents got divorced, it was a very segregated, right down the straight line kind of situation. It was, my dad said to me, you know, whoever stays with me, I'll give you whatever you want. I got the bigger house and I'll get you whatever you want. And, you know, that enticed us. So basically my little sister went to live with my mom. I didn't see her for almost a year. We were tight as tight before that. My older sister was with me and we stayed there, and my dad paid no attention to me as he had promised, and basically went off this new woman and started a new life, and I was just kind of in the background and being held for hostage because he didn't want my mom to go and have me. And still this day our family is very divided. I am the only person that goes and sees both sides of the family. My dad has never even met my little sister's kids. My mom has never met my youngest niece from my older sister. It's very divided. I have to walk on ice. You know, Sasha's friendly. She wants to talk to everybody about it. I feel guilty. So I told myself point blank when I had kids that no matter what my ex did to me, I wouldn't hold grudges, and I would always let my kids be there. I would never badmouth him. I would never, you know, do those things that divorced couples do to one another. I even go and buy my ex Christmas gifts, and my son labels them and takes them on over. I always just want there to be happiness and not segregation and not drama. So growing up, I was pretty close with my younger sister, but my older sister always had this vendetta against me, and she still does, and she's very hurtful towards me. And you know, after going through this for so many years, it mentally brings you down, and it makes you ask yourself, are you personally good enough for anybody? And like mentally, I had no self-esteem as a kid, and I felt like, where do I fit in? And I felt like, you know, why are people treating me like such dirt? So when I had my, and another thing is that I would never do what my father did to me in the past was never showed up for a sporting event, never showed up for a school function, was never involved. People actually joked me growing up. They said, where's your dad? Because he'd work, he'd go home and drink, and that was his schedule around him and nobody else. And I'm very actively involved in our community and school. I do whatever I can. I'm always there to go on a field trip with Sasha, whatever I can to do with the kids, because I want to make them feel like, you know what, my mom's always going to be for me there no matter what. And my son said it to me a while ago. He goes, you know, sometimes I can rely on dad, but if I really need something, I'm going to go and talk to you about it. And I feel that's such a positive thing for a 17-year-old to say, and he is so open and honest still. People say he talks to you about that. And that's what kind of relationship I always want to have with him and with Sasha, to be open, and no matter what the taboo subject may be, talk to me about it, because I'm always going to be there for you. So especially the situation with Sasha, you know, Sasha spent the first 6 months of her life in the NICU, fighting for life. She has a virus. She has this life-threatening condition. She has all these multiple things and multiple doctor's appointments with it. I had no clue what was going on in that life. My dad basically never visited Sasha in the NICU. My sister, I think, did. My older sister did twice. My mom was probably the most supportive person throughout that time yet again. And I just felt like, you know what? Sasha's here for a reason. She's still does to this day. She teaches me great patience, great love. This girl has had so many issues, medical, mental, everything stacked against her, what she goes through mentally, physically each day, and just has a smile on her face and a joke to tell you and tells you how much she loves you and she wants you to be her friend. So, you know, my kids definitely did change my life for the better. They gave me self-esteem. They gave me self-worth. They gave me basically, you know, like, you are the best person. And, you know, I always want to be the best person back for them and never do the things that especially my dad did to me growing up. I will never ever drink in front of my kids. I have very specific rules about that. I have not dated basically since my ex. I don't allow men over here unless they're friends and they leave when the kids go to bed. I just have very specific rules, like the things that I was growing up with, I will not bring into my home. And I would rather have my kids have a great relationship with me and be well bonded and be well nurtured and be stable with themselves and have great self-esteem and not have these mental issues like I still do to this day about, hey, you know, why did your dad do this? Why doesn't he love you? So, you know, the point of this video is that my kids definitely saved me, and, you know, they put a smile on my face every day and they make my whole life complete. I mean, basically them in my life, I don't know what I'd do without them. And, you know, if I'm having a bad day, Sasha just comes up and throws her arms around me and she makes me feel like I'm $1 million, like I'm the best person on this earth right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed my rant, and this was just a little bit about my family background. So, you know, if people say, why weren't you here? Where's your family? So there's just a lot of turmoil, and I just choose to keep the happy and the positive and just keep it going. So I'll talk to you later and have a great day.